I stood in front of the floor-length mirror, adjusting my emerald cocktail dress, while my mother's words from this morning echoed in my head. Try not to embarrass your sister at her engagement party, Juliet. For once. My name is Juliet Hunt, and I've spent 28 years being reminded that I'm the family disappointment. The black sheep. The daughter who dared to chase a career instead of a husband. Jules! Mia burst into my bedroom, already dressed in a sleek black number. You're not going to believe what I just overheard downstairs. I turned to face my best friend, recognizing the look that meant drama was brewing. What now? Your mother's practically bouncing off the walls, telling everyone how she has this wonderful surprise planned for Selena during the toast. Mia's eyes narrowed. Something about securing her future. My stomach clenched. Of course she does. I grabbed my clutch, checking one last time that the folded documents were safely inside. Did you see if Gage arrived yet? Your lawyer? He's already there, looking sharp in a gray suit. But Jules, why did you invite him? You know your mom hates when you bring outsiders to family events. I smiled, a cold little thing that didn't reach my eyes. Let's just say I have a surprise of my own planned. The drive to the country club was tense. Through the windshield, I watched storm clouds gathering on the horizon, fitting weather for what was about to unfold. Inside, the ballroom sparkled with crystal chandeliers and white roses, my sister Selena's favorite. She stood in the center of an adoring crowd, radiant in white, her new engagement ring catching the light. Our mother Eva hovered nearby, beaming with pride. Juliet? My father's voice made me turn. You came. Did you think I wouldn't? He shifted uncomfortably. Your mother was concerned. That I'd ruin precious Selena's big day? I kept my voice low. Don't worry, Dad. I'm just here to witness everything. His eyes flickered to the documents in my clutch. But before he could speak, my sister's voice rang out. Julie, you actually showed up. Selena air-kissed my cheek, her smile razor-sharp. And you're wearing green. How brave of you. You know it washes you out completely, right? I spotted Gage across the room, giving me a subtle nod. You look beautiful, Selena. Congratulations. Thanks. Lincoln and I are just so blessed. She grabbed her fiancé's arm possessively. Aren't we, darling? Lincoln smiled tightly. Absolutely. His eyes met mine for a moment too long, and I caught something there. Uncertainty? Fear? The next hour was a blur of fake smiles and pointed comments. Aunt Jolie cornered me by the bar. Still single, dear? You know my friend's son is a doctor. Cousin Caden. Heard your startup's struggling. Should have stuck with a nice, safe corporate job. I kept my responses minimal and my glass full, watching my mother work the room. She was practically glowing, stopping to whisper with various guests, building anticipation for whatever announcement she had planned. Finally, she clinked her glass for attention. Everyone, please gather round. I have wonderful news to share about our beloved Selena's future. The crowd hushed. Gage moved closer to my position near the back. As you know, my father, Selena and Juliet's grandfather, left a substantial trust fund for his grandchildren. Eva's voice carried clearly. He always believed in investing in the future of those who honor family traditions. My fingers tightened around my clutch. Today, I'm overjoyed to announce that we'll be using these funds to purchase Selena and Lincoln their dream home. The perfect start for the perfect couple. Applause erupted. Selena squealed in delight, while Lincoln's face remained carefully neutral. Of course, my mother continued, her eyes finding mine in the crowd. This means adjusting the original distribution. But I'm sure Juliet understands that her sister's needs must come first. After all, Selena has chosen to build a proper family, while some of us... She let the implication hang. The room grew uncomfortably quiet. I felt dozens of eyes on me, waiting for my reaction. Some pitying, others smirking. Mia squeezed my arm in support, but I was already reaching for the documents in my clutch. My hands didn't shake at all. "Actually, Mother," I said, my voice carrying across the sudden silence, "I think it's time we discuss the real terms of Grandfather's trust." I nodded to Gage, who stepped forward with his own folder, and I brought someone to help explain them properly. The color drained from my mother's face as Gage approached the center of the room. She knew in that moment that her perfect plan was about to shatter, and I was going to enjoy every second of it. Ava recovered quickly, her society smile snapping back into place. "Darling, this isn't the time or place for your dramatics. We can discuss any concerns you have privately." "Oh, but you made this public, Mother." I gestured to the gathered crowd. "You chose to announce your plans for my trust fund in front of everyone. So let's continue with full transparency, shall we?" Selena stepped forward, her white dress rustling. "Julie, you're embarrassing yourself. Just stop." "Actually," Gage spoke up, his professional tone cutting through the tension, "I believe Ms. Hunt has every right to address this matter, given the circumstances." "And who exactly are you?" Ava's voice dripped with disdain. "Gage Perry, legal counsel." He opened his folder. "I'm here to clarify the terms of Howard Hunt's trust fund, established in 2010 for his granddaughter, Juliet." My father finally broke his silence. "We don't need lawyers at an engagement party." "Apparently we do," I countered, "since you're all so confused about who controls Grandfather's money." Ava's laugh was sharp. "There's nothing confusing about it. As executor—" "You were never the executor," I cut in. "Grandfather named me as sole beneficiary and controller of the trust upon meeting specific conditions. Which I did, 6 months ago." The room erupted in whispers. I saw Aunt Jolie's hand fly to her throat, while Cousin Caden stopped mid-drink. "That's impossible," Selena snapped. "Grandfather would never—" Fourth paragraph, page 2. Gage held up the document. "The beneficiary gains full control upon either completing a master's degree in business or successfully running a profitable company for 2 years. Juliet has done both." Lincoln stepped away from Selena, his expression unreadable. "Smart man." "Those documents could be forged," Eva said desperately. "We'll need our own lawyers to verify." "By all means," Gage replied smoothly. "Though the trust administrators at First National have already authenticated everything. They're expecting your call, actually." The whispers grew louder. I caught fragments. "Eva said she had authority." "Been planning that house purchase for months." "What else hasn't she told us?" "Mother," I said, keeping my voice steady, "did you already make promises about this money? Perhaps to a real estate agent? Or put down deposits?" Ava's face went from red to white. "Bingo." "You didn't," my father breathed. "Eva, tell me you didn't commit funds you don't control." The silence was damning. Selena's perfect composure cracked. "But you said everything was arranged. The house, the renovations. It was supposed to be your wedding present," Eva said weakly. "Juliet was never going to use the money properly anyway. She wastes everything on that ridiculous business of hers." "My profitable business," I corrected. "The one that helped me meet Grandfather's conditions. The one you called a hobby and refused to support." Mia appeared at my side with a fresh drink. I took it gratefully, watching my mother's carefully constructed plan collapse. "This is spiteful," Selena hissed. "You're just jealous because Lincoln chose me instead of you." The room got very quiet. Lincoln choked on his champagne. I couldn't help but laugh. "Is that what she told you, Selena? That I wanted Lincoln?" I turned to her fiancé. "No offense, but you were never my type. Though I do wonder if you knew about their little financial scheme." Lincoln raised his hands. "I was told the house was a gift from family funds. That's all." "It was going to be," Eva insisted. "Juliet, please. We can work something out. A loan, perhaps?" "No." The word rang with finality. You don't get to take what's mine anymore. Not my money, not my dignity, not my reputation. I turned to address the stunned guests. For years, they've painted me as the family failure, the rebellious daughter who couldn't meet expectations. Well, guess what? I met every single condition grandfather set. I built something of my own, and I did it while they were making plans to steal my inheritance. We weren't stealing, Selena protested, but her voice was small. Really? I pulled out another document. Then explain this loan application with my forged signature. The one you submitted last month. Ava swayed on her feet. My father had to grab her arm to steady her. Gage has copies of everything, I continued. The fraudulent applications, the correspondence with realtors, the contracts drawn up in my name without my knowledge. Would you like him to share those too? That's enough, my father said hoarsely. No, Dad. For once in my life, it's not enough. I raised my glass. To the happy couple. I wish you luck finding a house you can actually afford. I drained my drink and turned to leave, but not before catching Aunt Jolie's whispered words to her neighbor. Eva always said Juliet was the problem child. Looks like she was wrong about that too. Juliet, wait! My father's voice followed me into the hallway. I kept walking, Mia and Gage flanking me like bodyguards. Let her go, Tobias, Eva called out. She's made her choice. I spun around. My choice? You tried to steal millions from me, and I'm the one making bad choices? The party guests were spilling into the hallway now, drawn to the unfolding drama like moths to flame. Eva must have noticed, because she lowered her voice to a harsh whisper. We should discuss this privately. Why? Scared what else might come out? I pulled another document from my clutch. Like the fact that this isn't the first time you've helped yourself to money that isn't yours? Eva lunged for the paper, but Gage stepped between us. I wouldn't, he warned. Attempting to destroy evidence won't help your situation. Evidence of what? My father asked. Dad, remember Aunt Sarah's inheritance? The one that mysteriously got tied up in probate for 3 years? His face went slack. Eva. It was a loan, she said quickly. I paid it back. After she threatened legal action, I added. Funny how that keeps happening. Selena pushed through the crowd, Lincoln trailing behind her. You're lying. Mom would never... Ask her about Cousin Robert's college fund, I interrupted. Or Uncle David's retirement account. It's amazing how many family members trusted you to handle their finances, Mother. The whispers grew louder. I saw recognition dawn on several faces. Other victims of Eva's financial manipulations putting the pieces together. I did what I had to do for this family. Eva's composure finally cracked. To maintain our position, our reputation. You mean your reputation, I corrected. Your social standing, your perfect image. Everything I did was for Selena's future. The words hung in the air. I watched my sister's face crumple as she realized what our mother had just admitted. Only Selena's future? My father asked quietly. What about Juliet? Eva waved dismissively. Juliet chose to abandon family values. She rejected everything we stand for. I rejected your control, I said. There's a difference. You ungrateful little... Eva started forward again, but this time it was Lincoln who caught her arm. That's enough, Eva. His voice was firm. You're only making things worse. Selena stared at her fiancé. Lincoln? I'm sorry, but this has to stop. He turned to me. How long have you known about all this? A few months. After I discovered the forged loan applications, I had Gage investigate everything. Turns out Mother's been playing financial shell games for years. They weren't games, Eva protested. I was investing in our family's future. By committing fraud? Gage asked mildly. That's an interesting investment strategy. Aunt Jolie stepped forward. Eva, is this why you insisted on managing my divorce settlement? The blood drained from my mother's face. I think, Gage said smoothly, Several people here might want to review their financial records. My office would be happy to assist. You planned this, Selena accused me. You deliberately waited until my engagement party to humiliate us.
No, sister dear. Mother did that when she decided to announce stealing my trust fund in front of everyone. I smiled coldly. I just decided to tell the truth. The truth? Eva laughed hysterically. The truth is, you've always been jealous of Selena, always trying to overshadow her special moments.
Special moments like when you used my college fund for her Sweet 16 party? Or when you convinced grandfather I was too irresponsible to handle my inheritance? I stepped closer. I've got copies of those letters too, Mother. The ones where you painted me as an unstable disappointment while begging him to give you control of the trust. For once, Eva had no response. My father's voice was heavy. How much, Eva? How much have you taken from others? Tobias, I can explain.
How much? The silence stretched. Finally, Gage spoke. Based on our investigation, approximately $2.3 million over the past decade. The gasps were audible. Someone dropped a glass. Don't worry, I announced to the shocked crowd. Anyone who's been affected will be receiving detailed documentation from Gage's office. I'm sure the police will be interested too.
The police? Selena squeaked. Fraud is a crime, sis. So is forgery. I turned to leave again, then paused. Oh, and Mother? Don't bother trying to access any accounts tonight. They've all been frozen pending investigation. As I walked away, I heard the chaos erupting behind me. Accusations, crying, demands for explanations. But it was Lincoln's voice that carried clearest. Selena, we need to talk about this wedding. Perfect timing. Because there was still so much more they didn't know about the happy couple. The morning after the engagement party, I sat in Gage's office reviewing bank statements while my phone buzzed constantly with family drama. Your mother's been busy, Gage said, sliding another document across his desk. Look at these transfers. I studied the paper. All going to an account in Selena's name? Not exactly. He tapped the routing number. It's registered to a shell company. Guess who's the silent partner? Before I could answer, my phone lit up with Lincoln's name. I showed it to Gage. Take it, he said. Could be interesting. I answered on speaker. This is unexpected. Juliet. Lincoln's voice was tense. We need to meet. Privately. Why would I want to do that? Because I have information you might find useful about Eva and Selena's other activities. I caught Gage's raised eyebrow. When and where? The coffee shop on 5th. 1 hour? Make it the restaurant at the Marriott, I countered. More witnesses, less chance of drama. He agreed and hung up. Gage leaned back in his chair. Want me there? No, but have Mia grab a table nearby, just in case. An hour later, I watched Lincoln fidget with his water glass across the table. He looked like he hadn't slept. Talk, I said. First, I need to know something. He glanced around before continuing. How much do you already know about the real estate deals? Which ones? The fraudulent loan applications or the property flip schemes? He winced. Both. But mainly the flips. Did you know Eva's been using insider information from her position on the city council? Now that was interesting. Tell me more. She's been tipping Selena off about upcoming development projects. They buy properties cheap, wait for the announcements, then sell at massive profits. He ran a hand through his hair. That's how they could afford that house they promised to buy us. It wasn't just your trust fund they were counting on. And you're just now developing a conscience about this? I didn't know at first, he protested. Selena said her mom was just good at predicting market trends. Then I found documents. He pulled out his phone, showing me photos of paperwork. Forward those to me. Already sent them to your lawyer. Look, Juliet, there's more. The shell company you found? It's not just Eva and Selena. There are other council members involved. I sat back. You're talking about a corruption scandal. I'm talking about saving myself, he corrected. I'm on some of those documents as a potential buyer. If this comes out— When? I interrupted. When this comes out. He paled. I'm cooperating. That has to count for something. We'll see. I studied him. Why tell me this now? Why not earlier? Because until yesterday, I thought Selena was the victim of her mother's schemes too. But the way she reacted when everything came out— He shook his head. She knew. She's been actively involved from the start. My phone buzzed with a text from Mia. Eva just walked into the lobby. Time to go, I told Lincoln. Send everything you have to Gage. And Lincoln, if you're lying about any of this— I'm not, I swear. He stood quickly. One more thing. Check into property purchases around the old factory district. That's their next target. I left through the kitchen just as Eva entered the restaurant. Through the window, I watched her confront Lincoln, her face twisted with rage. Back at Gage's office, Mia was waiting with fresh intel. You'll never guess what I found, she said, pulling up emails on her laptop. Remember that charity gala Selena chaired last year? The one she got all those awards for? Yeah, well, seems like most of the donations never made it to actual charities. Mia grinned. Your sister's been playing benefactor with other people's money. Add it to the pile, Gage said, scanning Lincoln's documents. This is getting bigger than family fraud. We're looking at potential RICO charges. My phone buzzed again. Selena this time. I read her message aloud. We need to talk. I know what you're doing. Don't make me fight back. She sounds scared, Mia observed. She should be. I started typing a response. Tell her I'll meet tomorrow. Same restaurant. Are you sure? Gage asked. She's cornered. That makes her dangerous. So am I. I showed them the final document I'd been saving. And I haven't even played my trump card yet. Mia grabbed the paper, her eyes widening. Holy shit! Is this for real? Completely. And tomorrow, Selena's going to learn exactly what it feels like when your whole world falls apart. I took the document back, running my finger over the damning evidence of my sister's biggest betrayal yet. Sometimes revenge is best served one devastating piece at a time. Selena was already waiting when I arrived at the restaurant, her designer handbag placed strategically on the table like a shield. Her perfect makeup couldn't quite hide her sleepless night. You're late, she snapped as I sat down. Actually, I'm right on time. You're early. Nervous? She ignored the jab. I want you to stop this investigation. Now. Or what? Or I'll tell everyone about your breakdown in college. How you were hospitalized. For exhaustion, I cut in. After working 3 jobs because mother drained my tuition fund. Try again. Selena's fingers tightened around her water glass. You're destroying our family. No, you and mother did that. I'm just exposing it. I pulled out the document I'd been saving. Speaking of exposure, what's that? Proof that you've been sleeping with Marcus Reynolds. You know, the city council member who's been helping you and mother with those lucrative property deals? The color drained from her face. You're lying. Hotel receipts, photos, texts. I laid them out one by one. Does Lincoln know you were already engaged when he proposed? That's private. So is my trust fund. Funny how that works. I leaned forward. Tell me something, Selena. Was the affair just for fun? Or was it part of Mother's plan too? You don't understand anything, she hissed. Marcus has influence, connections. Mother said, that sleeping your way to insider information was acceptable? That betraying Lincoln was worth it for profit? Lincoln's a means to an end. Mother found him, vetted his family's connections. It was all arranged. I sat back, genuinely surprised. Does he know that? Of course not. He thinks we had some romantic meeting at a charity gala. She smiled bitterly. Mother orchestrated everything, like she always does. And you just went along with it? Why shouldn't I? You got everything else. Grandfather's love, his trust fund, his faith in your precious business abilities. Her voice cracked. I got Mother's plans and expectations, her schemes, her constant pressure to be perfect. For a moment, I almost felt sorry for her. Almost. You had choices, Selena. You chose to forge documents, to steal from charities, to cheat on your fiancé while helping Mother defraud our entire family. I didn't save it. I gathered the evidence back into my folder. You know what the difference is between us? I fought back. You became her accomplice. Please, she whispered, don't show those photos to Lincoln. That depends on you. What do you want? A full confession. Everything you and Mother have done. Every scheme. Every victim. Written and signed. She paled further. I can't. She'd never forgive me. She's going down anyway. The only question is whether you go down with her. You're bluffing. You don't have enough proof. My phone buzzed. I checked the message and smiled. Actually, Marcus Reynolds just finished talking to investigators. Seems he's eager to make a deal. Selena's handbag crashed to the floor, spilling its contents. As she scrambled to collect them, a familiar document caught my eye. What's that? I snatched the paper before she could grab it. Is this a copy of Grandfather's original will? Give it back. She lunged across the table, but I was already reading. Holy shit. I looked up at her panicked face. The trust fund was never meant for me at all, was it? It was supposed to be split equally between us.
Mother said you'd waste it, she said weakly. She convinced Grandfather to change it, to make you prove yourself first. While you got your half free and clear, I scanned the document dates. Except you didn't, did you? Mother kept that money too. Used it for her schemes. Tears smeared Selena's mascara. She said she was investing it for me. In property scams and insider trading? Wake up, Selena. She played us both. My phone buzzed again. Mia this time. Ava just pulled up outside.
Perfect timing, I said, standing. Here comes Mother now. Let's see what she says about this will. No. Selena grabbed my arm. Please, I'll tell you everything. Just not with her here. I studied my sister, really looked at her, and saw something I'd never noticed before. Fear. Not of me, but of Eva. Fine. We do this at Gage's office. Now. As we slipped out the back, I caught a glimpse of Eva storming into the restaurant. For the first time, I wondered if Selena and I had more in common than I'd thought. But first, she had a confession to make, and Mother had a reckoning coming that would shake our family to its core. Start from the beginning, Gage said, recording device ready as Selena sat in his office. When did Eva first involve you in her financial schemes? I was 19. Selena's voice shook. Mother said she needed my signature on some papers. Just routine family business, she claimed. The first property deal? No, that came later. This was, she needed access to Grandfather's accounts. Said he was getting forgetful. Needed help managing things. I leaned forward. Was he really? No. Selena wouldn't meet my eyes. He was sharp until the end. But Mother said, if we didn't take control, you'd get everything. The office door burst open. Eva stood there, face contorted with rage. Selena, stop talking immediately. How did you... I started. Find you? Eva sneered. I had your phone tracked months ago. Did you really think I wouldn't take precautions? Gage stood. This is a private meeting. Leave, or I'll call security. My daughter isn't saying another word without legal representation. I already told them everything, Mother. Selena's voice was small but steady. About Marcus, the property deals, Grandfather's accounts, everything. Ava moved so fast I barely saw it. Her hand cracked across Selena's face, leaving an angry red mark. Gage grabbed Eva's arm before she could strike again. That's assault. One more move, and I'm calling the police. You ungrateful little snake, Eva hissed at Selena. After everything I've done for you. Done for me? Selena touched her cheek. You used me. My whole life, you've used me against Juliet, against grandfather, against everyone. I made you perfect. You made me your puppet. Selena stood, shaking. Even Lincoln was just another one of your schemes. Did you think I wouldn't figure out you paid him to pursue me? That was news to me. What?
Oh, yes, Selena laughed bitterly. Mother arranged everything. Found out Lincoln needed money for his startup, offered him an investment if he'd date her perfect daughter. Isn't that right, Mother? Eva's silence was damning. But here's the best part, Selena continued, gaining strength. Lincoln fell for Juliet first, at that charity gala. Mother had to double her offer to get him to choose me instead.
The room spun slightly. I remembered that gala, how Lincoln had talked to me all evening until Eva suddenly whisked him away. That's why you pushed them together so hard, I said to Eva. Why you kept throwing them at each other. It wasn't about Selena's happiness at all. It was about control, Selena said. Like always. Eva straightened her designer jacket. Everything I did was to secure our family's position, our legacy. By committing fraud? Gage held up a stack of documents. By stealing from your own children? I borrowed what was necessary. You stole my inheritance, I interrupted. You manipulated grandfather into changing his will, then stole Selena's half too. And now, Gage added, we have proof of insider trading, charity fraud, and multiple counts of forgery. Want to try explaining that? Eva's mask finally cracked. You have no idea what it takes to maintain our status. The constant competition, the social obligations, the expectations, the criminal behavior, I suggested. Don't you dare judge me. I protected this family. I gave you both everything. You gave us trauma, Selena said quietly. Manipulation. Lies. She turned to me. I'm sorry, Juliet. For everything. Eva lunged for the recording device, but Gage was faster. In the scuffle, her purse spilled, and dozens of USB drives scattered across the floor. What are these? I picked one up. Don't! Eva's panic was instant. I handed the drive to Gage, who plugged it into his computer. His eyebrows shot up. More evidence of fraud? I asked. Better. He turned the screen. Blackmail material. Eva's been collecting dirt on everyone in her social circle. Looks like we just found her insurance policy. Eva sagged into a chair, finally defeated. Call Dad, I told Selena. He needs to hear all of this. She nodded, hands trembling as she dialed. It's over, Mother, I said. The police are already investigating the property deals. Marcus Reynolds is talking. And now we have proof of everything else. You're going to destroy our family name, she whispered. No. You did that yourself. We're just exposing the truth. As if on cue, my phone buzzed with a news alert. City council member implicated in property fraud scheme. Multiple arrests expected. I showed it to Eva. Looks like your perfect plan is falling apart. She stared at the screen, then at her daughters. The two women she'd tried so hard to control, now united against her. And finally, Eva Hunt began to cry. The family gathered in our father's study 3 days later. The room felt smaller than I remembered, crowded with tension and unspoken accusations. Eva sat rigidly in an armchair, her designer outfit unable to hide her dishevelment. Dad stood by the window, looking older than his years. The police have everything, Gage announced to the assembled group. The property fraud evidence, the charity embezzlement records, the forged documents. They'll be making arrests soon. Arrests? Dad's voice cracked. Eva, what have you done? What I had to, she replied mechanically, to maintain our position. Aunt Jolie stepped forward. Our position? You stole my divorce settlement. I had to remortgage my house because of you. I was going to pay it back, Eva insisted. Once the property deals... Stop lying, Selena cut in. She'd been staying with me since her confession, slowly emerging from Eva's influence. Just tell the truth for once. Ava's face hardened. The truth? The truth is, I made this family what it is. I secured our social standing, our connections. Through blackmail, I added, holding up one of the USB drives. Should we show everyone what's on these? Don't you dare. Why not? Isn't this your life's work? All the secrets you collected, the dirt you gathered on your so-called friends? Lincoln, who'd insisted on being present, spoke up. Does that drive include the real reason you approached me about Selena? Ava flinched. Because I'd like everyone to hear how you offered to fund my startup if I broke things off with Juliet and dated Selena instead. The room erupted in gasps and murmurs. Dad turned from the window, face ashen. You did what? It was for the best, Eva said desperately. Lincoln's family has connections we needed. Juliet would have ruined the opportunity with her independence. My independence? I laughed. You mean my refusal to be your puppet? You never understood the importance of appearances. But Selena did. She was perfect. I was terrified, Selena shouted, surprising everyone. Every day, wondering if I'd disappoint you, if I'd make some mistake that would ruin your precious plans. Do you know what that's like? Eva recoiled as if slapped. And now, Gage continued smoothly, those plans have backfired spectacularly. The DA is particularly interested in the insider trading charges. How many years in prison are we talking about? Aunt Jolie asked. Given the scope of the fraud, potentially 15 to 20. Eva swayed in her seat. No, I can fix this. I have information on people. Leverage. Your blackmail material has been turned over to the authorities, I said. Though I'm sure your society friends will be thrilled to learn how you've been collecting their secrets. You're enjoying this, aren't you? Eva spat. Destroying everything I built? Built? Dad's voice thundered suddenly. You built nothing but lies. You stole from our family, manipulated our daughters, corrupted everything you touched. He turned to Gage. What do we do now? Eva has two choices, Gage replied. She can cooperate, plead guilty, and possibly receive a reduced sentence. Or she can fight it and face maximum penalties. And risk exposing her precious social circle in a public trial? I smiled coldly. We know which she'll choose. The doorbell rang. Through the study window, I saw police cars in the driveway. Right on schedule, Gage said. Eva stood shakily. Tobias, please, don't let them take me. But Dad turned away, shoulders slumped. I don't know you anymore, Ava. Maybe I never did. Officers entered the study, reading Eva her rights. As they led her away, she tried one last time. Selena, darling, tell them this is a mistake. Selena moved to stand beside me. Goodbye, Mother. We watched in silence as Eva Hunt, social queen and master manipulator, was escorted to a waiting police car. What happens now? Lincoln asked quietly. Now, I said, we start fixing what she broke, beginning with returning everything she stole. And us? Selena looked at me uncertainly. Can we fix that too? I studied my sister, really looked at her, and saw not the golden child who tormented me, but another victim of Eva's manipulation. We can try, I said finally, but no more lies, no more schemes. She nodded, tears spilling. I'd like that. Dad cleared his throat. Your grandfather, he'd be proud of you both, for finding the truth, for standing up to her. Together, I added, surprising myself by taking Selena's hand. As the police cars drove away, I felt something shift in the room, like a heavy curtain finally lifting, letting in light. Eva's perfect facade had shattered, but maybe something real could grow in its place. Sometimes revenge isn't about destroying your enemies. Sometimes it's about breaking free of their control and rebuilding what they tried to break. The morning of Ava's sentencing, I found Selena in grandfather's old study, staring at his portrait above the fireplace. Ready? I asked. Not really. She smoothed her skirt. Did you read the victim impact statements? Most of them.
Aunt Jolie's was particularly powerful. I wrote one too. Selena turned to face me. About what it was like growing up as her perfect puppet. The court psychologist said it might help other people recognize signs of manipulation in their own families. Pride, an unfamiliar feeling toward my sister, swelled in my chest. That's really brave. I learned it from you. She managed a small smile. Though I still can't believe Lincoln's statement. The details about how Mother orchestrated our whole relationship. Are you okay? About him, I mean? Surprisingly, yes. It's like waking up from a long nightmare. Everything looks different now. Dad appeared in the doorway, straightening his tie. Girls, it's time. The courthouse steps were crowded with reporters. Eva's scandal had rocked the city's social circles, exposing corruption that went far beyond our family. Marcus Reynolds had already pleaded guilty, along with 3 other council members. Inside, we found Mia and Gage saving seats in the front row. Ava sat at the defendant's table, her designer outfit replaced by simple business wear. She didn't turn around. The judge's voice filled the courtroom. Ava Hunt, you stand convicted of multiple counts of fraud, embezzlement, and financial exploitation. Before sentencing, would you like to address the court? Ava stood slowly. Your Honor, I've had time to reflect on my actions. I realize now that I lost sight of what truly matters. My pursuit of social status and financial gain corrupted my relationship with my family, especially my daughters. I felt Selena tense beside me. I apologize to those I've hurt, Eva continued, particularly my daughters, Juliet and Selena. I thought I was protecting our family's legacy, but instead, I nearly destroyed it. The judge nodded. While I appreciate your statement, the severity and duration of your crimes cannot be overlooked. This court sentences you to 18 years in federal prison, with possibility of parole after 12 years. Additionally, you are ordered to make full restitution to your victims. The gavel struck. Eva's shoulders slumped. As officers approached to take her away, she finally turned to look at us. For a moment, I saw past the manipulation and schemes to something raw and broken. A woman who'd sacrificed everything real for the illusion of perfection. Outside, reporters shouted questions, but Gage shepherded us through the crowd to waiting cars. Back at the house, Dad opened Grandfather's special scotch. A toast, he said, to truth, and to healing, and to Grandfather, I added. Who knew exactly what he was doing with that trust fund? Selena looked up. What do you mean? Think about it. He made my access conditional on proving I could succeed independently. He knew Mother would try to control the money, so he made sure I'd be strong enough to fight back when the time came. He protected you, Selena whispered, while I got the easy inheritance and fell right into Mother's trap. Maybe he knew you'd need Juliet to help free you, Mia suggested. The doorbell rang. Dad returned moments later with a courier package. It's from Howard's old law firm, he said, reading the letter inside. Apparently he left instructions for this to be delivered after Eva was sentenced. Inside was a second envelope, marked, for my granddaughters. With trembling hands, I opened it and read aloud. My dearest girls, if you're reading this, the truth has finally come out. Eva's manipulation was apparent to me long ago, but directly opposing her would only have driven you both further under her control. Instead, I chose to give you different tools. Juliet, the challenge to become strong independently, and Selena, the freedom to make mistakes and learn from them. I'm sorry for the pain this caused, but I believe in you both. Together, you have the strength to rebuild something better than Eva's false perfection. The enclosed key is to a safety deposit box containing documents about your grandmother, Eva's mother. Perhaps understanding where Eva's obsession with social status came from will help you avoid repeating history. Love always, Grandfather. Selena wiped tears away. He knew. All along, he knew. And he trusted us to figure it out, I said. To break free. Together.
she added, echoing my words from before. I looked around the study, at Dad finally standing tall, at Mia and Gage, who'd helped expose the truth, at my sister emerging from Eva's shadow. The weight of revenge had lifted, replaced by something lighter. Hope. Together, I agreed, raising my glass. To writing our own story from now on.